Hello, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of everything that we have in our morning basket currently. So if you are new here, I am a homeschool mom of 4 kids, currently 2 in school, and we have been homeschooling for 5 years, and I was actually homeschooled myself, and so I'm just really passionate about the atmosphere and opportunity that we have with homeschooling. Now, as far as morning basket goes, this was a brand new concept to me last year when I just started diving into more of like Charlotte Mason and having a feast of ideas. Definitely inspired by other YouTube moms around here to have a morning basket family time routine. And I have to say that after a year and a half of doing this, this is probably the richest part of our day. And I have learned so much myself from the different books that we have chosen, and it's just such a delightful time. But I am by no means an expert in morning time. I don't really think there is an expert way to do it correctly. I think it looks completely different for every single person. Even when the people that I've watched on YouTube, everybody has a different, I think, what they put in their morning basket, but I think the idea is the same, that it's a time to congregate and fellowship with one another. If you are new around here and you love watching homeschool videos and that is something of interest to you, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button below. If you love Morning Basket, then make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Okay, so this is our basket that we have. This is my morning basket that I will just take out in the mornings. And we don't go through every single thing that is in this basket on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to first show you just the things, and I'll tell you how many times a week we might go through these. Okay, so the first book that I want to show you in our morning basket, I turned the camera down, I feel like it was really bright, is this book. It's called Tales from Shakespeare, and we read this on Wednesdays only. So with the Charlotte Mason curriculum, Shakespeare is a big part of that and is encouraged, but because this is our first year ever reading Shakespeare, in fact, I personally and completely unfamiliar with Shakespeare, this book came recommended as kind of a introductory way to introduce Shakespeare. We started it this semester and we have gotten through 3 stories and they have been delightful, and I think it's just what we needed to kind of introduce ourselves to Shakespeare. So the next thing in our morning basket is our music study. This is Chopin. This is my 3rd music study that I have bought from the Simply Charlotte Mason website. I really like it. It has a little book inside that gives you just an overview of the pieces that are in it, and also a short biography of the composer. We will only read like a page, maybe 2 pages of the biography before we listen to some of his music. And I feel like that's enough where they can kind of narrate back and they have learned a little bit of their composer, but nothing that we have to rush through. Again, I think most of these lessons are really only 5 to 10 minutes tops. And so you can actually go through your whole morning time in like 45 minutes or so. This is just a read aloud. If you're not familiar with the Tuttle twins, they are really great series of books. And so this one we'll just read once a week. I would include this in like kind of social studies, kind of history, kind of read aloud, I guess, if you're going to categorize it. But these are just really fun stories. So I'll link their website down below. And this one was called The Golden Rule, which is what we're going through right now. Habits. If you are not familiar with my routine, I will post a video in the comments of our term that we're doing right now. And actually, I'm gearing up for term 2, which will start the first week of November. And I'll make sure I share a video on the things that will be changing for term 2. But we have 4 weeks left of term 1. This is the Simply Charlotte Mason Laying Down the Rails, which is our habit training. And we do habit training on Monday and Wednesday. So we're working on the habit of attention, and we will probably continue to do that and reinforce that. But we're just going through one of the lessons twice a week. Sometimes it has an activity. Sometimes you're just reading a passage of scripture, or you're talking about a concept of the habit of your choice. So there's different types of habits, but this is a really great book if you're not familiar with that. Next in our morning basket is our history curriculum. History we do Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes Friday, depending if we have a field trip, nature study with our friends, or if I'm just doing a activity that's recommended to go along with the history lesson. So if it's just reading aloud and looking things up or talking about historical facts, we'll read this lesson and do that. But sometimes there's an activity involved, and if that is the case, when I'm planning, I will put that on a Friday, because we really don't have much in our family studies in our morning basket on Fridays or independent work. That's kind of our lower key day. And so I'll leave a lot of fun activities for that day. Our history we'll read Monday, Wednesday, Friday though, for the most part. Our next in our morning basket is our Spanish. Again, all of these, if we're doing them that day, we only spend 5 to 10 minutes. So it's interesting to me that when I was thinking about teaching the girls Spanish, and when the first few weeks, it's like we're not getting anywhere. But we all know that a little bit compiled over weeks and weeks and years, we really can master a skill set, right? And so we are 9 weeks into Spanish, and we're in lesson 3. But what they have learned, they're memorizing, and we're learning and we're mixing it up. So this has been definitely a hit for us in our morning basket, adding in the Spanish by Miss Mason. Then we have our hymns. So a lot of people will use menus, which I would like to buy eventually, but I try to do everything that I can, repurposed or reused. So I just haven't bought menus yet, but maybe if that's something you guys like to use, I would love to hear about it in the comments, and you may just convince me to get those. But for now, laminate sheets cost me like 1 penny. So I just copy them from my hymnal and then laminate them. This is our 3rd hymn for the semester because we did August, September, and October. So we will sing our hymn twice a week. Also we will review our other hymns, not just even in our morning time, but I feel like one thing that I really appreciated from starting the Charlotte Mason through Ambleside and Simply Charlotte Mason curriculum online, hymns and things that we've learned that I would have never probably taken the time to add. And so I think if I was going to say something like a big pro to having a morning basket and having a feast of ideas, is you get to touch a little bit on so many things that otherwise would just fall by the wayside because they're not important in terms of like reading, writing, and math. These 2 books are currently what we're doing with our Bible lesson, and I'm just rotating them back and forth Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Friday, they have a Sunday school class, which has a scripture memory verse and also a work page on the back that they bring to their Sunday school on Sunday. And so on Fridays, I leave time for us to do the back sheet of their Sunday school take-home page. So that can be talked about. And it's also, having it on Friday gives us a chance to kind of think back to what they learned on Sunday, and it gives me a chance to hear what they're learning in their Sunday school class at our church. Otherwise, we rotate between these 2 books. You can see our mark. This one was given to me by a friend. I do like it. I think that it's a little bit lacking in answers, where I feel like this one has way more depth. And I got mine at Thrift Books, I think for like $6 or $7. You can get it on Amazon. This one I would highly recommend. I really waited to buy it, and I finally got it for this year. And so if you've been on the fence of getting theology, I think you will really, really love it as a family. Okay, this is our folk songs. So folk songs are new to us this term. We are following the Ambleside curriculum for the first time this year. For the most part, we're doing some Simply Charlotte Mason, and I'm doing mystery history as well. It's a little bit of everything Charlotte Mason, but we are following their hymns and their folk song. And so we've done Waltzing Matilda and Did You Go to the Barney, which have been a highlight of our week. Stressing that. So we rotate these with our hymns. So Monday, Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursday. So again, on a day-to-day basis, we may only do 4 or 5 things. And again, I'll link the video below showing my schedule and what I'm putting on each day. Okay, and then only on Mondays, we read a lesson from Charlotte Mason's elementary geography. So this is only once a week, kind of like all of our other ones. We have our composer our poet, which I'll get to, art study, our geography, and all of those are just once a week. So you feel like they wouldn't learn anything, but they do. They truly, truly do. And it's very rich and rewarding. And this is by the Living Book Press. If you have any questions about these, just drop them below and I'll share a link. So this is our poet. I don't have my schedule in front of me, and I don't have it memorized, but I think our poet is on Tuesdays. So we have already read about Emily Dickinson. This is Simply Charlotte Mason, and we'll read one of her poems and discuss it. And next is our picture study, which we do once a week. Again, we'll talk a little bit about, right now we're doing Van Gogh. We have 2 of his pictures left for this term, and we've gone through his biography, so we'll talk a little bit about him and his art, and then we'll hang up the picture so that we can see it throughout the term, so they're just getting familiar with famous art pieces, which I think is really great. Okay, so the remainder of what is in here are all just add-ons that we may or may not use. So in history, if we were talking about something specifically, or actually even this comes up in geography, world events, I'm amazed when things just come up when we're talking. And so we'll just refer to both of these, which I have loved. I got these because they came so recommended. Material World, and then Hungry Planet. If you are familiar with these and you love them, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I can see that we will be looking at these beautiful pictures and trying out recipes in both of these books and just learning about cultures throughout our homeschool. So I'm so glad I got these for our morning basket. And then the last things here I'll share with you are just some books, odd and end books that we may or may not read. We have read some of the Aesop Children book. I got this because we are in ancient history right now, and it was a good just add-on reading to history. This is our nature study, which we do Tuesdays and Fridays, but this is not like a step-by-step guide. It's just like parameters and suggestions for doing a nature study. So I just keep this in here as reference. This is our United States of America. This is our map study currently. So I just have this laminated, and the girls have their own sheets. And so when we do our map practice on Monday, we have been learning all of the United States maps. I feel like that was just the first place I felt we needed to start. So the last thing I actually got this at the thrift store, and it's been super fun. So I've just been taking it out like once a week when I feel like we don't have a lot happening, or history is a short lesson, or so I just noticed it's gonna be short, and so I'm gonna pull this out, and it has every day of the year a holiday or birthday or famous person or event, and I literally got it for like 50 cents at the thrift store, which I love. And it's been really interesting. We've learned some, you know, random facts and people, and I just think, it's just, I find that stuff so fascinating. So that is everything in our morning basket, and that actually is also all of our family studies. So I know not everybody does that in their morning basket. It looks different for everybody. My girls are in 4th grade and 2nd grade, and so we will start with that and do that. I hope to do a day in the life just to show you kind of like what that looks like soon. And then they'll go into their independent work. Typically their music practice is done before morning time because they work out, and so they'll try to do their routine, their music practice. So again, hopefully I'll get a morning day in the life here soon and be able to share that with all of you guys. So I would love to hear a book that's in your morning basket and how you use it to enrich your homeschool day as a family. And again, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon.